Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Crimson Desert. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming, and a recap of the previous episode. I showed off Kliff's homestead. We took on a bunch of research. We got a legendary animal, the alpine ibex. What else did we do? We took on a couple of bosses. The crab boss and the sand watcher boss. We did some more research, installed a transporter at home, Kliff's home, and that was episode number 19. So in this episode, what we're going to do is complete the Truth and Reality chapter. Like in between, if it's a long chapter, what I do is I do the first 50% of the chapter, do a little side stuff, and then do the rest. So this will conclude chapter 11, which is the penultimate chapter in the story. Chapter 12 is the final chapter. And there is a prologue after the final chapter. But let's finish up chapter 11. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to continue Marni's questline. We're going to get Blackstar, our dragon, some new fit. And we are going to rescue a god. There's a lot that we're going to try to do in this next hour and a half or so. As always, we start out at our camp. We're not going to stay here very long. We're going to move right to Truth and Lies, which is part of the Truth and Reality chapter 11. I have to sort of remember where it was I left off. Can't quite remember what I was doing. But all of Marni's quests require multiple steps, and I suspect that whatever we have left to do will require multiple steps. So I think we got the 3 pieces that we needed from each of the places that we had to go to get the key. We're going to take the key back to the transporter, which should unlock our ability to interact directly with Marni. So let's see if it works that way. I will try to cut out a lot of the going through each of the rooms and putting on the Vision and all that kind of stuff, because it's a little tedious and it takes a long time. So we're going to do a little creative editing so you won't have to see 15 minutes of that again. First time was fine. I don't think you want to see it a second time. I'm never sure when I'm in this part of the map whether I should keep the Vision on. You need it for stuff like this, but you see people walking around Dew Haven and some of the other areas with the Visions, so you just wonder, should I always have this on? If you get to a point and you don't see a prompt, then it means you should have it on, because these prompts will not show up. These will, but in other parts of this area, the prompts won't show up unless you have the Vision on. In any case, let's plug the keys in. And let's go meet the great man who everyone is honoring, and who has pictures of himself or portraits of himself all over this manor. And all over my house. Right. My little cabin is full of his pictures. So make sure you select the right one. Marni's hideout is the one that you want. The other ones we've been to before, so you don't need to go back to them. Great. We should read whatever we find because some of it is tied to the quest. Some of it might not be, but it's definitely worth getting the knowledge. In some cases, the knowledge is precisely what you need in order to move forward. In other cases, it's for other things later, not necessarily for this particular quest. Some of this stuff we take and we sell it. We don't, I guess some of it I could potentially decorate my cabin with, but it's getting a little cluttered in there anyway, so I think we're good. So we're going to take the Palmer pills. That always tells me that we're probably going to be facing a boss of some type when they give you the stuff that you need to resurrect. Just looking around, make sure there's nothing else hidden. Okay, Goldenstar. Okay. We are going to be confronting Goldenstar at some point. Goldenstar is a, I guess the best way to describe Goldenstar is it's a mechanical version of the dragon. Features of the Aeserion. I think we have this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got this pretty early on. Probably when we were visiting the asylum. I think that was where we saw the first group of people wearing the Aeserion. But apparently we didn't read the whole thing because this page either is new, it wasn't in the first one, or I didn't read it. After you read these, I'm sure everybody knows this by now, you can either sell it or take it out of your inventory. You don't need to carry it around because once you've obtained the knowledge, you have it. It's not going to go away. I'm assuming we have to go through that door, but I don't know. Do you have to interact with this? Let's see.
At last, you're here. I am the true Marni. The Marni you encountered was Hall, a constructed consciousness. My mirror self, if you like.
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, I'm sure it's quite confusing. Just know every alarming event across Delicia is Hall's handiwork. That sly fiend struck a bargain with Caliber, locked me up, and took my place. Now is absconded with my flying fortress. Oh. So, let's cut to the chase. I'd like to propose a deal.
A deal?
You want to destroy the fortress? I only ask you take Hall down as well.
That's all.
Destroy Hall. And I'll see the Palanese prisoners are safely released. In order to do so, you'll need to acquire Goldenstar's power core.
Goldenstar?
A weapon to rival the fortress itself. The heart of it, its core, holds unimaginable energy. If you were to plant that core in the depths of the fortress, well, the fortress simply wouldn't survive the search. Boom, problem solved.
Simple enough.
If you have an inquisitive mind, feel free to poke around. Plenty of notes, scribbles, and half-finished masterpieces lying about. Cheerio, for now.
Okay, well, we know what the next step is. Retrieve Goldenstar's power core. They always make it sound so easy. Alright, let's read this memory first.
Halt! You've trespassed on the great Marni's private land without permission. Your offense is severe, and you will face judgment before the great Marni.
What? The great Marni is standing right before you.
The great Marni watches over us through Visioni, guiding us. Therefore, you cannot be the great Marni. Resistance is futile. Come quietly.
That tone, familiar somehow. Surely not. It can't be. Hall?
Okay, guess the way out is through this big door here, but it's not easy. Oh, okay. I was just gonna say it doesn't seem to be powered up, but I guess you don't have to do anything but walk towards it. No loot. No enemies. Okay, interesting scenery here. Apparently the disruptor didn't quite do his job on that little one. Okay, I wasn't quite expecting okay, that one got him. Now we have the flying things. Oh my god, this is going to be a fun area. These are all enemy types we've faced before. I think the flying ones are more annoying than anything else. I mean, I guess they can hurt you, but they're just, I find them, I took care of them, but I find them pretty annoying. Sort of like gnats that just never leave you alone. I don't think they cause a whole lot of damage. Even the little robots don't cause a lot of damage. The bigger ones can cause a great deal of damage. And if you are swarmed by a bunch of them, then yeah, it can be a bit of a pain. Okay, so was that one of those things that's stuck to? All right, what's going on here? Oh my God, and we got wyverns in the area. And they will shoot at you. I have not figured out how to deal with wyverns yet. And the ones in this area don't ever land. So I don't know. They don't stay still enough for you to try to like take them out with arrows, and I'm not sure that would work anyway. Maybe explosive arrows might. They're not hyper aggressive. I mean, if they were, then I would be done for. There was a quest earlier in the game, in this area, where you had to clear 3 wyvern nests. I think I got 2 of them. I couldn't find the 3rd one because the wyverns wouldn't leave me alone, and I eventually left. I figured, okay, I'll come back and do that later. So difficult to kill. And you want to take the batteries out of each one of these. I'm rolling and moving around to prevent myself from being sniped to death by the gnats or the flying dragonflies, whatever these things are. Okay, this ruffer should take care of them. Yeah, they definitely have the numbers. I mean, they just send these mechs out over and over again. And at some point, I'm going to add mechs to my dispatch. I think it's at least partially tied to some research you have to do, either in Dewhaven or in the Delicia Castle. There you are. Very annoying. Those are the only 2 research areas I think I have left to do. If I still have some in the other areas, there's probably only one node left in terms of research. But in Dewhaven, I had all of them to do, and Delicia Castle, because those don't unlock until later in the game. Once they unlock, you can go and start them. Yes, you have to do a favor for the researcher before you can start your research. Then you have to observe a bunch of things before you can start your research, and then the research is going to get halted somewhere along the way. So what I try to do is to make sure at the beginning and at the end of each recording session, or each play session, not necessarily recording, because even when I'm not recording, I try to get some research done. If they're short, by the time I'm finished playing, some of the research will be done, and I can start new research. If it's one of the longer ones, it's okay, because I can go to sleep for 12 hours, and that'll pass the time. So I usually get 1 or 2 nodes, maybe 2 or 3 nodes done a day. So I should be able to finish them if I don't finish before we start chapter 12, once the chapter gets underway and if there's a sort of a break point in the middle, I'll go and at least start the research. Again, all you need to do is start. There's nothing for you to do. It's not like you're going to stand around and watch the research happen. But just understand that if you start the research, there's a likelihood that you'll get a message indicating the research has been halted for some reason, forcing you to go and sort of figure out why it was halted. And if you're in the middle of another quest, you wouldn't want to stop that quest to do this. I guess that's the only real caveat. Earlier that was happening a lot, so I decided, all right, you know what, why don't I do it in between the main quests instead of trying to do it while I'm doing the main quests. Because I feel, pressure when it says meet such and such at blah 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 place. I always feel pressure to go ahead and meet them. I don't want them all to all get killed because Kliff is not there. Okay, that blast came from a wyvern. The blast that you just saw. And they're really annoying. Okay, and apparently they know I went into the tent. That's what was happening when I was in this area before, but there were like 4 or 5 of them just chasing me around doing that. Should we do this? Yeah, because I think we're going to end up having to fight Goldstar, the boss. We have tons of armor that we can take. Again, we just take it and sell it. We don't take it and do anything else with it. But we don't need it, and I don't want to fill my inventory up with that. Although after this, I don't know. I don't know whether this, because this is main mission. It may just pull me right into the next part instead of giving me a break before moving on. That looked like something I could interact with, but it's not. I'm afraid when I walk through one of these areas, it's going to be the boss fight. So I'm trying to... Let's take the timber. Any little stuff we can scavenge, I think is a good idea to scavenge. Is this the boss area? All of these areas look like boss areas. Okay, I'm not sure what... Maybe there's a transporter here. I'm not sure why you would need these conduits, or these cables all over the place. Okay, there's no music playing, but the anticipation is building. Yep, well, there's a cutscene. So, now the music. And now Goldstar itself. Now, you're probably wondering, how the hell am I going to fight something like this when it's flying around like that? Is Blackstar going to come and we're going to have an aerial battle? Although he looks bigger than Blackstar. The answer is no. It's a bit of a gimmick fight. And in addition to fighting Goldstar, as you can see, these mechs that are going to be dropped in from time to time will continue to harry you like this while Goldstar blasts me with fire. He can also do a little fire tornado under me. But what I'm trying to do is get to these blue, these highlighted javelins. That help. And that also, by the way, if you use your disruptor, it also affects Goldstar. And that's what these javelins will do. You take them, you throw them in the Goldstar, and it causes the stun buildup. See a little tornado over there? He can make that appear under you. So when you see the ground swirling, you should definitely move. This is an incredibly annoying fight because of the mechs. If it was just me and Goldstar, I think I would be sort of okay. So you have a window, probably of maybe a minute before the other big mechs are dropped in. The wyverns don't seem to be shooting at me at this point. It's these little gnats, and then the mechs that get dropped into the arena. And of course, Goldstar. So my feeling is if you just keep moving around the arena, so you use that to take out all the little flying gnat thingies. And as soon as you do that, more mechs get dropped in. But as you can see, the stagger bar is pretty high. Whoa. Stuck on something. It's pretty high on Goldstar. And I guess for this fight, fire armor, fire resistant armor would have been helpful, or gloves. I don't think you need the whole set. I think you can just use. Okay, Goldstar, you walked right into my blast and then you killed me. So we're not starting all over again. Not that I've done a whole lot of damage, but yeah, you definitely want to avoid. I don't think you can really avoid it, but you want to not stay in the fire when he starts fire breathing. Yeah, he'll pop into the arena from time to time, but unless you have fought him 5 or 6 times and you know that he's going to do that. Okay, there's the tornado, right where the javelin was, so you want to make sure you don't stay in that area. It can actually pull you out of the arena. So it'll pull you into the air and throw you over the gate, so over the wall, so you want to avoid that. So even though I got into the critical hit break thingy, it was when he killed me, so I didn't have a chance to do any melee damage on him because of that, which is too bad. So now it's surviving, make sure I'm eating, which I have plenty of food, so that's not an issue. And the annoying thing is, every time you get close to the javelin, one of these javelins, okay, as you can see, it builds up a lot of. So every time you get close to the javelin, I want to work my way over to one, but now you got 2 mechs being dropped in. So let's see if I can get to one, and you got the things flying around. And if you grab onto one of the javelins and you get attacked, the javelin doesn't stay in your hand. It doesn't fall to the ground. It just disappears, and you have to go and get another one. And because these guys just keep following you around. It's like never leave you alone. Okay. Yeah, his little bombs aren't too big of a deal to avoid because you can see the ground changing. Oh, there's a tornado. Okay, so the javelin got him and the tornado got me. So I got lucky. I was able to fly back into the arena. He's down again. Am I going to get a chance to attack him at all? Nope. So twice now, actually his posture's not broken, but he ended up on the ground for some reason. Okay. His posture reset. I don't understand that part. because I didn't think it was a posture break. He was on the ground. The bar was still full. So the fight would be easier if you could just grab these and just keep flinging those at him. The problem I have is I'm getting stuck on stuff. I'm trying to avoid being burned to death. All these little flying guys are bothering me. And they can knock you out of the animation, the throw the javelin animation. So it's not like you can totally ignore them. But the key is you have a very small window to operate within, and them putting these stone structures in parts of the map that you get stuck on is pretty annoying. Okay, can I get this one? Yes. Now where the hell is Goldstar? Of course, right on top of me. All right. All right, let's try this again, buddy. I mean, it's like you just don't get a break. And it's funny because there's so much red dots on the map. I don't know that he shows up as a red dot. Maybe he does. Oh, see, Goldstar is down at the other end. There's no way I'm going to get to him before he recovers. It's so frustrating. I am chipping away at his base health slowly. Okay, I got a hit in on that one. Yeah, I guess this would have been an easier fight if I had unlocked lightning. I did fire and ice. But if I had done lightning, that would have been helpful. Because even my arrows, I would be able to imbue those with electricity. So fighting some of these mechs would have been much easier. Or created the disruptor spear. That would have made it easier as well. So for those folks who were wiser than me, yes, there's an easier way to had this fight and have it end in probably a couple of minutes. Where the heck is this? Gosh, here we go again. Okay, someone got their posture broken, and I'm getting lit up, and this guy's chasing me. I have no idea where Goldstar is. There he is. Got ya. See, if you could carry 2 of those javelins, you'd be in good shape, right? Because you can do one and then do the other one in a hurry. But the problem is okay, I think I totally missed that one because of all this other crap going on around me. Okay, he's down. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get over there. There we go. Oh my god. These friggin' mechs are so annoying. Oh my god. I could have had them. I mean, they're so annoying. And I think their sole goal is to give Goldstar a little bit more time. I think that's the sole goal. You know, let's give the Dragon King more time. Meanwhile, I'm running around for my life here. If I could just get him one more time, I think I'll get him. All right, why isn't it popping up? Oh my god. Kliff is having a bad day. I didn't get the prompt. It should have given me the prompt. There it is. And of course, there's a mech right behind me. I'm not worried about their little rockets. They must move pretty quickly. I thought I gave myself more time, of course. There's another one being dropped in the arena, and apparently these mechs move pretty fast. Take this one. Goldstar is almost done for. Of course, I lost that javelin. I got this guy on my tail. I got the bugs back. Maybe this will do it. Yes. Okay, out of nowhere comes our buddy Unka and our other buddy Blackstar. Was Unka flying on Blackstar? I don't know how that happened. Nice. Okay. That was kind of nice. Not me running around the arena, but Unka showing up on Blackstar to help end this fight. Man. Well, we just completed like 25 challenges apparently. I have not, I have to admit, I haven't looked at the challenges menu in a long time. There's just so much else to do. I'm like, okay, I'm not intending to just do a bunch of challenges.
As expected.
White Crow.
I knew you'd make it here. All that's left is to forge one final fated bond. But first, I've got a small gift for you. I'll study the origins of Goldenstar's power. And record it in the tome I gave you. Now, let us take to the skies.
Okay. Now we have what we need. And I think all of this, even though this... Well, let's see. Okay, Blackstar is here.
You two seem to have hit it off. You can call him Blackstar. He'll be your wings from now on.
Okay, so now I guess he's summonable for us.
Go with him. Soar to new heights.
Okay, and we know it's a him. So instead of calling it an it, I wasn't sure what Blackstar was.
Shall be yours.
Now Blackstar has... He does have limitations. You can't just use them to go anywhere. There will be parts of the map that are sort of where he's locked out from. And his cooldown is he's got a long cooldown. It's like, I think it's like 50 minutes. So it's you know, not like you can use him for everything. I did, and I wasn't recording when I did this. I did take out a bunch of enemies on an oil rig. Yes, there's an oil rig, using Blackstar. Of course, they couldn't do anything about it because they were on an oil rig and I was on Blackstar. So it was easy to just firebomb them until they were... It was one of those ones that had started at 100%. I think I got it down to like 40% before I finally got off his back and went down and took care of the rest of them. So I think for those large fortresses and camps and things like that, I think he's really good for that kind of stuff. But remember, you have a time limit. And nothing tells you... I don't think anything tells you what the time limit is. The blue bar is his health. He does have a stamina bar that will pop up at times. Maybe the white bar around the little image of him, maybe that's the timing in terms of how much time he has left that he can be with you before he has to reset. There's an item that you can craft that will reset the reset so that you won't have a 50-minute wait period. But you have to keep crafting those. Those aren't permanent. So what we're doing now is we are going to actually take on the Flying Fortress, or begin taking on the Flying Fortress. It's right now it's protected by a shield, and so Blackstar is going to help us get rid of the shield before we can go further. So what you want to do is stay out of the line of fire. You want to break each of those little emitters. You can only, right, when they light up like that, that's the only time you can actually damage them. As long as they're not like that on the top, which, of course, I'm gonna get it. I'm missing. Can't do it. It'll just bounce off if the emitter isn't lit up. And Blackstar has a pretty big health pool. I mean, so unless you're just standing around just taking frontal damage and not sort of trying to get out of the way of some of this stuff, you should be fine through this whole little battle. I still haven't mastered fully manipulating his movement, mainly because the prompts only stay on the screen for like a half a second, and that's usually while you're trying to do something else. Okay, so the fire breath isn't working here. Let's use the fire. There we go. So like those will stay on, but the how to go up and how to go down don't stay on long enough. Same thing with land. If you wanted to land, you don't have that as an option right now, maybe because we're in the middle of this particular quest. That would have been a little bit more helpful with Blackstar. So we have 2 more of these emitters to destroy. Blackstar is doing okay on health, which is good. Yeah, using the fire breath does cost stamina. Just in case you're wondering, is flying around making Blackstar tired? No, apparently he can fly around forever. It's only when he's using his abilities does stamina become an issue. See, like there's no prompt that tells you how to go back up. You know, to reposition, you know, so I just started moving the controller around, and eventually he went back up. Maybe I'm just missing the... Maybe I missed the whole tutorial on dragon controls or something. I'm not sure. Okay. So we accomplished that. So what do we do? Okay. Music is playing again. Blackstar is doing his own thing. He's pretty nimble. He's very nimble. Alright. Kliff doing his best Batman imitation again. Alright. So we're on our own for the moment. We got lots of red dots around. Why is... Oh, something's aiming at me. Ouch. Okay, so it wasn't flying thing. Oh, it's these things. Okay. So unless you want to be driven slowly crazy by these circulating laser thingies, you may as well just take them out. It's funny because, like I said, you see these little red dots. I'm not sure which red dots represent these things or not. So my fear is if I don't take them out, we are eventually going to end up outside on this thing climbing around. So you definitely want to take care of as many of them as you can before you go out there, just in case one of them knocks you off of this particular structure. So in order to sort of get to the roof area, you need to find an open slot. So you move this around like so. Is that open? Let's keep going. You move it around until there's a clear open slot that you can climb into. Kliff is going to give himself a hernia. He's really straining there. There we go. Nope. Is that it? No. Let's do one more. Okay, let's see. There we go. Yeah, the other thing is the way that those little laser eye things are rotating. That means you end up having to spend a lot of time waiting on them in order to hit them. And if you miss, then it basically means waiting another few minutes. Okay. Oh, where'd you come from, buddy? I'm assuming we have to destroy that thing in the middle. But before we do that, we should defeat these guys. They popped out of the blue. And we got more of those eye things, which don't seem to be affected by the disruptor. Yeah, this is not a... Okay, so we destroyed that. Yeah, it's not a difficult area, it's just tedious dealing with these things. So I decided to use explosive arrows. There's distractions all over the place with this. There we go. Jeez. I guess this is the part of the game where people are saying, well, you know, if you had actually completed the quest and ended up with infinite arrows, then you wouldn't have that problem. I have replenishing arrows, but not infinite arrows. I have infinite arrows. I believe it's either 40 or 60% chance. I have one of the two infinite arrows. I think I have infinite arrows too. So if you got infinite arrows 1, or if you get infinite arrows 3, you would have true infinite arrows for all types. So, but it's okay because with replenishing arrows, if I'm using ice or if I'm using fire, I can imbue the arrows with ice or fire. And ideally, you'd also want to unlock electricity and the third one. I can't remember what the third one is. If you unlock all of them, then you basically have all of the elements that you can use at will on any arrows if you have replenishing arrows or infinite, either one. Well, if you have replenishing, you can use it on that without needing to use a specific type of arrow. Okay, so up here, you see the same little light structures like the one we saw inside. We need to go and take out each one of these. And I know we haven't taken out all of the little floating eye laser thingies yet either. But just work your way around. And as long as they're not shooting at you, you're good. So you want to use stab and then pierce. There's one. Let's take this one out if we can. Nope, something else shot at me. See, that's the benefit of taking them all out, is you're not going to be aggravated by these things. They're so freaking annoying. There are not a lot of them. There shouldn't be a lot of them left. But it doesn't take a lot. One or two is enough to drive you crazy. Okay, so we're going to continue walking. If you just make a complete circle, you'll see all of the ones that you need to take out. So you just, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever direction you start in, just go all the way around. Okay, let's see if I can get this one this time. Nope. Nope. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, there's one right there. Come on, come on, come on. Gotcha. Alright, I think there's only one left. I think that one that was floating over on the other side is the only one that's left. Don't fall off this thing. Yeah, I don't know what actually will happen if you fall off, because we didn't unlock a fast travel point up here. So I don't know if you fall off whether or not it just sort of resets you to the beginning of this when Blackstar dropped you off, or whether you it must, because there's no other way for you to get up here. I don't want to test that theory. But I'm guessing that that's what will happen. That will be the sort of save point kind of a deal. Okay, I think this is the last one. You want to take out the one on top? Oh. Okay. And that door that's opening right there, we need to get to. So it does require not exactly an Assassin's Creed leap of faith, but it does require you to actually jump down there without missing it. But even if you immediately miss it, you can use your grapple to get back on there. Or you should be able to use your grapple to get back on there. I say that. And, you know, like I said, the worst of all worlds would be falling off this thing at this point. Okay, this structure is a fairly involved structure. So there's a lot of the stuff we need to do in here, and now that we're inside of it, it's like, wow, this place is bigger than I thought. Okay, this is a spinning wall thing. Where is it? Yes. Okay. Okay.
The time has come. Your presence tells me. You still haven't given me the answer I want.
Okay, so
I'm
this
not
is
interested in what you want.
this is not Marni. This is
You
Hall.
anymore.
I will not comply. I exist everywhere.
I can be anyone. You too could have shared limitless knowledge in immortality had you joined me.
But you refused.
We're gonna be fighting him?
And now I have no further use for you.
Nope, I guess we're gonna be fighting them.
There is no place for you here.
Nope, I guess we're gonna be fighting that. Okay, so I guess that's Hall. We're gonna use the Watcher to see if we can build up. Do you pull his eye out? How do you do that? Nope, that had zero impact. But I can see that his little crit bar, well, I lost it. It had built up, but I didn't do damage to it. So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so this might be the. Okay, well, since my nature snare went wherever it wanted to go instead of at the enemy. I can't lock on, so this is interesting. But definitely nature snare will keep you from getting hit. So, I guess it's counting as a hit since it's nicking him on the side. I'm not doing a whole lot of damage. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of damage. Okay, I need to watch my spirit. Yeah, that's the danger of not doing good spirit management. Because clearly this is not an enemy that I can melee in order to gain some spirit back. So I guess at this, like now, I think I should be shooting arrows into it when it's no longer protected. Like right now, when it's in this little resting phase, I'm wondering if I should be actually shooting it to do damage. I will tell you, I love Nature Snare. I think it's an awesome, certainly against humanoids, it is like an incredibly powerful weapon. Against certain bosses, this boss is, I wouldn't consider this a fast boss, because his movements are predictable. He's just sliding around on that track that he's on, versus some bosses that are all over the arena. Especially the teleporting ones, so you're never really sure. you know, if you're going to be able to get Nature Snare off or not. In this case, you can, but you still need to manage your spirit. Okay, so it's a little bit slow going, but we are making progress. So every time he gets hit with one of the little Nature Snare thing, it seems to take maybe 5% of his health. It does build up his stamina, his critical hit bar. The problem is, I haven't figured out what you're supposed to do once that happens. Because he's not on the ground, so it's not like I can, you know, get a crit strike on him. See, so now I'm just trying to rebuild my in between, just trying to rebuild my spirit, so I'll have some to use while he does this spinning around thing. Yeah, I got the distinct feeling that I'm not doing this the right way, but it's working. Okay. The good thing is he doesn't seem to have a lock on. Ah, okay, I may be onto something. Yep, the arrow works. Alright, I'm doing certainly more damage. Let's see if this does more damage or not. Okay, so that was it. Alright, when he's in his resting mode, he takes a lot more damage. Too bad I didn't figure that out like 10 minutes ago. So after he does all of that, he goes into... Once he fires, he should go into resting mode at some point soon. Actually, there we go. This should do it. There we go. I was going to say, alright, based on the previous shot that took most of his damage away. Alright. So I guess Hall is... Oh. Yeah, I did wonder about that. And once we destroy this flying fortress, how the hell are we going to get out of here? Oh, okay. There we go. Blackstar. Thanks, boy. Nice. So this was what was preventing an all-out attack on the enemy. And so with the destruction of the fortress, there ends chapter 11, Truth and Reality. And this is the beginning of chapter 12, The Abyss, which of course, like the previous couple of chapters, we're not going to do. We're going to watch a little cutscene, and then we're going to move on to some other things, and some side things in the next episode, and then the final chapter in the next episode. So this is I guess the sort of opening scene of the final battle. I guess final battle, maybe the final battle. We will find out. But we have a god to rescue, and that's what we're going to do now. So I mentioned some time back that there was an additional an additional witch quest that popped up. We did all of the witch quests in the game, and then this one, Flight, popped up. It wasn't available before. It wasn't even on the menu before. But it did say that there was that I'd completed like 20 of 21, and I was like, well, what's the 21st one? So it has to do with this, which you couldn't do until now. And so we are going to do this, which is a multi-step kind of a thing. We have to go to Kilden. And the thing you don't know is whether or not you have all of the materials you need to do this. And it turns out, that most people probably will not have everything that's needed to do this quest.
I've got other parts for sale too. So take a look if you.
I've been exploring all over the place, and the one thing you need. Actually, you need more than one thing, but the thing that you need, let's see. You see what's missing? The Aeserion scale? There is no way for you to get the Aeserion scale unless you complete the other quest. You just can't go pick it up. I tried that. So we are going to rescue this shackled god in order to get the scale. And as you can see, we've already taken out 2 of the 3 ancients that we have to complete in order to complete Aeserion's side quest. And we did that incidentally. We did not do it as part of his quest. We found these guys in the game, and one of them I took out in the last episode. This sort of fire-based guy. Okay, so when we arrive here, we'll see these guys shooting at Aeserion. Now, if you discovered this area a little bit earlier, with no quests, with nothing telling you what this area is all about, you just figure they're trying to kill a monster. It turns out that that's not quite right. That this is a shackled god. He's been the ancients, the 3 ancients, did this to him. They trapped him here, and then stabbed him with these spikes that prevent him from leaving this area. And obviously they turned it into a shrine to worship him. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. So what we need to do is go over here. See, on the ground you have this scale, right? You cannot interact with the scale. You can grab the arrows, you can grab the bow, you can grab all that stuff, but you cannot grab the scale. And the scale's all over the place. The scale is what you need to max your weapon out. Right? You can refine your weapon all the way up until its final stage, but you cannot refine its final stage without the Aeserion scale. And there are a bunch of them here. There's not just one scale. You only need one to max out your weapon. But if you're here and you're completing this quest, I would say grab every scale that you can see. Because that way, as you play on post-game, you can decide to max out other weapons as well. So it's not going to let you interact with that. It took me a while to figure that out. I'm like, okay, I'm over here. I want the scale. I was going to just grab the scale and leave. But it doesn't work that way. So as you can see, the quest is telling you to step onto the altar of the sanctuary. As you get closer, he will begin to talk to you. Aeserion will begin to talk to you. And it's a bit of a sad story. I don't know how long he's been trapped here, but Seems like he's been here a while. Maybe even since, well, I guess not since the dawn of time, since the ancients were the ones that did this to him. But they're ancients, so maybe since the dawn of time. I don't know. So I'm just wondering whether or not if I go over there, I'm going to get killed trying to get to the altar, since he's sort of slithering all over the place. And you see those pink things on his back? Those are the spikes. There are 3 of them. But you can't do anything about those until you destroy the 3 ancients.
Through the tether of mind, I speak to you. Come forth to my altar before my voice is lost to silence. Long have I awaited this fated moment, shrouded in the illusion of chance. My name is Aeserion. I restored balance to the world, turning folly into wisdom. So men proclaimed me the god of knowledge. Now I am but a prisoner, bound in a cage of fear. Once, I sealed away the ancients, beings drunk on the abyss and lust for ruin, but they struck back, driving 3 shackles deep into my body. Now my spirit, imprisoned in this form, remains chained to this temple, while the ancients, wielding artifacts, claw once more toward this world. Seeker of order, I shall inscribe the marks of the ancients into your mind, so that the world shall not be scarred again by their ruin. Let wisdom flourish where chaos will reign.
Okay, so as you can see, we've already taken care of 2 of them. We only have 1 left. Very, very lucky, very fortunate that we don't have to fight all 3 to get through this, because they're very difficult boss fights. At least they were earlier in the game, because I was weaker when I fought them. Now I think I'm a little bit more confident to fight them because I'm not as under leveled, I guess. And the other thing I should have done was to take out all those guys that were firing at him, because it's so freaking annoying having them shooting at you while you're trying to have a conversation with a god. So when we come back here, we're going to take care of them before we go back over there. I think if you have lightning resist, that would be helpful as well, because of the sort of stormy nature of what's going on around him. I don't think you need it, but it probably would be helpful if you had it. I'll probably just equip the gloves instead of a whole fit. Okay, so let's go take on Primus. Where is it? Primus. Primus, so maybe he's the first one. He won't start fighting you until you get a little bit closer to him. So you can take a look around. I don't think there's anything of note. We're going to use the Watcher because we're going to build up his crit damage. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. It seems there are no scales here, so I guess it's really the only thing. Well, wait a minute. There is a question mark here. Let's see what that's all about. Okay, whatever it is down there. Or is it that? No, it can't be that across the way because it's like below us. Alright, let's not get sidetracked. Let's go ahead and fight this guy. If need be, we'll come back since we want to eliminate every single question mark from the map at some point in the future. Let's do this first. Oh, Primus. I was waiting for him to shoot stuff at me, but he's causing the ground to erupt beneath me. So I'm not sure my nature snare is going to help. Yeah, all these guys teleport. So, yep, that's what happens when you don't dodge when his little fireballs are coming at you. All right, we'll restart this since he immediately starts to fight by like attacking me without even saying anything. So I'll try to be a little bit more aggressive and not let him. I had the wrong. I don't know how that happened. I had the wrong weapon equipped. I never switched it. Okay, that's what I want you to do, buddy. You just keep shooting at me. There we go. That's what I want. I assume this is a one-phase fight, but I've assumed that before. Okay, see, this is what we want. Overwhelming power of Kliff. Buddy, your only hope is my stamina runs out. Okay. That was a good run. Ouch. It's funny because once we started pummeling him, he was sort of stuck on the ground, which is where you want him. But I don't know how to prompt him to do that. He will dive bomb you from time to time, and if you can predict where he's going to land, you've got to dodge these. Yikes! I almost died. Okay, get over there, get over there, get over there, get over there. Okay, he's done. Okay. Nice. He was the easiest of all the ancients. The very first one was probably the most difficult one because it was probably super underleveled. The second one was very, very difficult, and I actually came back like 3 weeks later because I found him pretty early. Probably wasn't supposed to be fighting him. Okay, so we've done these 3 steps. Now we need to go and remove those cores from Aeserion. But we're not going to let those guys just continue to shoot at him either. So we're gonna take them all out. Before we do that, let's check down here where the question mark was, since we have to fast travel anyway to get back to where we were. Ah, it's an Abyss Crescent. That's why when I looked down, I didn't see anything. I was like, there's nothing down here. But okay, we'll take it. I don't know why we need a fast travel point here, but okay. So Well, no, there's another structure there, so maybe there are quests related to stuff out here since we haven't spent a lot of time in this part of the map. So maybe later I'll say I'm very glad that I did that. Okay, so these guys, these little assholes that are all lined up over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna knock them right off the side of the mountain. Yeah, no. You know, you guys are shooting at our buddy Aeserion. That will not do. So let's do this. Let's do that. Oh wait, the first one came back. Okay. So let's not do that. Let's do this. If we turn you into ice crystals, you won't come back. Alright. Tell you what, let's do this instead. I just talked about the wonders of Nature Snare. Let's test that out. There we go. Alright. We do this 2 or 3 more times and we will have cleared the whole area in less than a minute. Nice. Alright, buddy. You guys are going with your friends. Bye-bye. Should have done that the first time. Should have done it the first time. Spent all that time dodging these guys, shooting at Aeserion. Now we can go over without being bothered and try to save this guy. I think we got enough to deal with without them shooting at us as well.
I marvel at your courage, rivaled only by your wisdom. I sense the ancients no longer walk this land. My spirit, at last, knows peace. But tell me, why have you returned?
Because I want to free you, buddy.
You hold for my plight.
No pity. I need your scales.
With the ancients gone, shackles weaken. Should your mercy reach as far as the ancient servant? Will you break the bonds carved deep into my flesh?
Yeah, so when those things pop out of the ground,
Focus your spirit.
that's when you can deal with them. He's telling us how to get rid of those cores using focus force palm. Not like that. you need to use the healing. I guess it's the healing word. Was it the healing? No, it's focused force palm, not the healing palm. So what you do, I'm going to come back to that. Okay, that's clearly not what you're supposed to do, and I'm getting electrocuted here. So what you want to do is this is the one where you highlight, ouch. Buddy, I know you're not doing this, but it's very annoying dealing with this whole lightning thing. And I don't want to get crushed. I don't want to get crushed by him. Okay, even though we destroyed one of those things, we didn't destroy the core. We only destroyed that part that pops out of the ground. So you have to destroy that part in order to get to the core. So this is the core that's left after we destroyed the top part on that first one. And when you get the light, this is when you hit it. And then there's a little bit of a delay, but then it breaks and you get tossed into the air, but you have the accomplishment of having done that one. You do get some little breaks between the little lightning storms that affect him. So they're not like constant. So I guess the game really wants you to do them, take a break, and then come back when the lightning is over. I don't know what it really wants you to do, because you can do them either way. So once you figure out what you're supposed to be able to do, it then seems easy. for some reason there's only one left. You always get, I guess you get blasted into the air so you can get to the other one faster. Maybe that's why you do that. Maybe. Who knows the workings of godhood? I'm not sure why that's happening. But we have one core left. If I don't get destroyed by lightning. Okay, so now all we have to do is remove it. Those other little ones you don't have to worry about. And so with that, you get the cutscene, you free him. He's gonna dive into the ocean. Maybe that's where he lived. Not sure.
Your kindness has altered the flow of the universe. The shadow of the ancients lingers no more. And my manacles have been torn away. You have restored balance to the abyss. And granted me freedom. Many may never know your name. But earth and sea will remember your steps. Wisdom shall bloom once more. And I shall forever remember you as the one who sowed its seed.
That was nice. That was nice. And I don't know how many people actually managed to find and do this quest, but it's a fun one to do. I don't think it alters any element of the end of the game at all, except you get the scales. Well, we have to go back and get the scales. But you get the scales, which means you can max your weapons out. That's the only way you get to max your weapons. So in that regard, I think it's a good thing to do. Do you need to do it? No, I'm at chapter 12. So red ink, that's another quest. So here are the scales. Yeah, it didn't show me going all the way. It didn't show me going all the way back up. Now, see, now doing this leads me to believe that if I had thought to use this skill, I could have probably collected these scales without actually completing that quest. Because I was trying to interact with the scales and they weren't interactable. And maybe they were never going to be. So I could have gotten the scales otherwise. That's just occurring to me now that I walked up and just snagged it that way to put it in the cuckoo pot. And if that's true, that would be slightly annoying. No, not annoying. Probably more embarrassing because I thought I needed to do this in order to get those scales. But if you're over here getting the scales, why not complete the Aeserion side quest? I guess the partial answer is because you could conceivably come over here, fly over here, grab the scales, leave, and then come back at a later point and do it without interacting with those guys who are shooting at Aeserion or without interacting with Aeserion at all. And remember, he didn't start talking to us until we got a little bit closer. So it is conceivable that you could have completed that you know, come in and taking the scales without actually having to do the quest. I guess that's a possibility. I think it worked out okay for me, though. I'm not going to complain about it. Because I saw this area, but I didn't come over here. I didn't fly over because I thought I had to fight him. And I didn't feel like I was ready for that. Anyway, now that we have done that, we are going to come back to Kilnden, right? Because we did all of that to get the scale that we needed in order to craft the recipe that the witch gave us. So we talked to our buddy here.
Ah, when you sell them. Took you long enough to get here.
Dude, I've been here many times. Okay, we're going to do the abyssal fusion.
Oh,
We have what we need.
come to admire real craftsmanship.
Okay, we'll deal with some of this other stuff, especially some of the weapons a little bit
This
later.
kind of work isn't as easy.
I don't know
as it
whether I'll
looks.
record it, but I definitely want to fill that out. Okay, so now, in order to do this next part, we need to go up to one of the Nexus. Which is interesting that they would send us here for this particular quest, but all of them have transporters, so it's easy to get here. So as the quest marker indicates, or the quest indicates, this is armor for Blackstar. I think it's the coolest thing in the world that the witches thought of him in terms of the armor. Hey, buddy. I brought snacks. Awesome scene. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I don't know how much more protection that gives Blackstar. He didn't take a lot of damage when we were taking down the fort, but maybe when dealing with the final boss of the game, he might need that. Although I'm guessing that there are a lot of people who didn't get to this particular quest, and so they probably are able to complete that without that armor. There's armor set, very nice. I hate that we got him so late in the game because I think that the utility for him, I guess there's still areas that need to be cleared, still factions and stuff like that we need to do. Not a lot, to be honest with you, unless new ones pop up. But it would have been nice to have him earlier. And now my understanding is you can unlock a wyvern. Okay, this is the area I was talking about. So there's certain areas he can't enter. And right now we're on the edge of it, so we want to get out of that. I don't know what happens if he does, whether or not there's stuff that can actually kill him. Yeah, I should have pulled back to look at the whole map because there are 3 red areas that he can't go into. I tried dismounting there, but you can't, even though it gives you the option of dismounting. If you hit dismount and then you try to open your wings, it won't work because, of course, that puts you back onto Blackstar's back. So I think that becomes the real issue with dismounting. So if you dismount, you need to dismount, give it maybe 10 or 15 seconds to get away from Blackstar, and then you're able to open your wings. And there is a land. There you go. So apparently that icon, the land command, will only show up when you're close to land somewhere. And so I just wanted to show you guys that, and we're going to wrap things up right now. Blackstar has his armor set. We have Blackstar. Sorry, I landed him under a tree, but I guess that'll keep him cool. Thanks for joining me in for completing chapter 11, episode 20. I will see you in the next one. So thanks for joining me. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming. I will see you guys soon. If you like this video, hit the like button, and uploads every Tuesday and Friday. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.